Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today is the top 5 best herb farms in WoW. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Okay guys, so today let's count down the top 5 best herb farms that I've personally found and the ones that I want to relay onto you. So that being the case, let's move in to number 1. Number 1 on our list is the WHIPTAIL farm, which is located in ULDUM. Now I personally like this farm mainly because you can average just around 40,000 gold per hour from this farm, and this is obviously in the grand scheme of herbalism, it's just looted items throughout the actual hour of the farming. It's not raw gold, so it's not gold directly in your pocket. You have to sell it on the auction house, of course. But herbalism with the WHIPTAIL farm is absolutely great, and the reason being is because you get a wide variety of whiptail, which is one of the key things we're going for with the WHIPTAIL farm, and then again you do get a lot of volatile lives. Now the volatile lives can actually be sold on the auction house for a decent amount of gold, and to be honest, they are one of the highest sellers. So you get a wide variety when you're actually doing this farm, with the whiptail being like a medium range, so it takes about a week to 2 weeks in order to sell. And when it comes to the volatile lives, you're most likely going to sell them within the first week, as they are in a high demand for crafting different types of transmog, mounts, all that jazz, and in just a really high demand. This is why I personally love the whiptail farm, because you can pretty much guarantee you're going to make gold pretty much as soon as you've done it. So that being the case, that is why I have put the whiptail farm at number 1 on this list. Number 2 is the FJARNSKAGGL, or FJARNSKAGGL, however you want to pronounce it. I think it's FJARNSKAGGL. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, because I am terrible at pronunciations, but this one can be found in STORMHEIM. Now they average from around about 8 to 9 gold per piece for one FJARNSKAGGL, and pretty much it's not great when it comes to the per piece, because obviously the per piece is just about 8 to 9 gold, which is pretty mediocre at best. But the great thing I find about the FJARNSKAGGL is because you can pick up around about 5 to 6 from each different node, and this adds up quite dramatically, as it's around about 50 gold, well, 40 to 50 gold depending on the item value for one node. And following this route that I've got on the screen right now, and pretty much you're going to average a cool 30,000 gold within the hour. And obviously this is still in a relatively high demand, mainly because the Legion stuff is still being used to this date, and it's used quite a lot when it comes to the Legion-esque materials. And I personally love this farm. It's one of the ones that I haven't actually really covered all that much, and I just wanted to make this clear in this video that this one is still a very, very viable farm when actually trying to get hold of a good source of a variety of different types of herbs in order to bulk out your auction house by controlling different types of herbs on the, well, on the auction house, so to speak. But at the end of the day, I find the FJARNSKAGGL one to be a very uncontested and an easy farm in order to do. Now obviously you will need to know the Legion Pathfinder flying, and if you're watching this and you're a farmer, you've most likely got this, and I would highly suggest using a druid for this farm, as pretty much the STORMHEIM is very elevated and all that jazz, so having flying will be very, very handy in order to get to these different types of nodes. Other than that, I just find this to be one of the most quickest and easiest farms in order to do, and that being the case, it's just a great farm in order to do. The FJARNSKAGGL one is just so easy. You can just go numb, watch something on the TV, and you're basically going to make around about 30,000 gold for the hour, and it sells relatively fast. You're probably going to be able to sell it within the first week. But other than that, guys, let's move in to number 3. Number 3 on our list is the Starlight Rose, and who could forget this one? This one is one of the higher end herbs that you can actually farm in the Legion expansion, and this can be found in SURAMAR. SURAMAR was obviously the end game for most of the Legion expansion, and aside from the Broken Shore and Argus, this one was quite well used in like alchemy and inscription in order to get hold of a load of stuff. Now, the Starlight Roses average from around about 10 gold to around about 15 gold per piece, and at the end of the day, if you've got up to at least rank 2, you're pretty much laughing when it comes to doing one of these farms. Now, following the route that we're actually showing on the screen right now, this is one of the most linear ones, so you don't actually need flying, so to speak. So if you don't have flying, this is a great alternative than the FJARNSKAGGL one from before. Now, I find this herbalism farm to be one of the most easiest ones in order to do, as the route is quite simplistic. All you're really doing is just running around in a great big circle, and at the end of the day, you're going to come out with roughly around about the same as the FJARNSKAGGL, around about 30,000 gold, as the stacks of them average like just a little bit less than the FJARNSKAGGL one, so it just balances out. So it's whichever one you want to actually use. Now, the Starlight Rose sells more than the FJARNSKAGGL one from before, and that being the case, I would say that this one would be a great one in order to do, hence why it is a little bit higher on this list. Now, the Starlight Rose one will most likely sell within the first week, as the Legion stuff, as before I stated, was being used quite a bit still, even though we're in BFA. Other than that, that is pretty much all I've got for this one, because I mainly covered it in the FJARNSKAGGL one. So that being the case, we're just going to jump over to number 4. Number 4 on our list is an oldie, but it is a goodie. It's the GROMSBLOOD farm for herbalism, and I found this one to be quite efficient in FELWOOD. FELWOOD, all you have to do is really just run along this like amoeba shaped zone, and pretty much you're going to average a clear 30,000 gold. And I've done this on multiple realms. I play on around about 4 realms at this moment in time with all herbalists. Not because of that fact, but I just wanted to test this out just to make sure that I was getting my math correct before I actually talk about it. Other than that, so on 2 low pops and a medium and a high pop realm, it is averaging around about 30,000 gold per farm. Now, obviously, this does depend on your realm as well, so I would double check your auction houses before you do this one, because it's kind of one of those ones that just is old world content stuff, really good for you on your realm. So make sure that you double check before you do this farm. But other than that, you get a wide variety of different types of herbs, such as your main one, which is GROMSBLOOD, along with Dreamfoil and the Lotus and all those other different types of ones. Now, mixed with mining, it can boost it kind of with like the mithril ore that's around the area, but other than that, it's not really that much of a great boost. You're better off just doing that with herbalism and selling that on the auction house. If you wanted to use your mining, I'm not going to discourage you from doing it. It's just going to take you a little bit longer in order to get around the zone, and you could probably just pick up more herbs than running around mining, because the respawn rate is rather high when it comes to vanilla type farms, mainly because flying wasn't around then and the nodes haven't changed at all since then. Along with that, let's get into number 5. And number 5 is a BFA one, and that is the SIREN'S pollen one. And I've covered this one multiple times, and I think is probably the best, which I think is the best herbalism farm to date at this moment in time. And it is the VIGIL Hill farm, which, yeah, I've covered so many times. I don't find the Riverbud one to be that great of a farming one, because you're going to have to dodge mobs and all that stuff, and the gold per hour is just a little bit less than the VIGIL Hill one. The VIGIL Hill one has a few elevations in height, but you can really get around that just as long as you are a druid or you've got a mount of some sorts, and you can just, as long as you can press your space bar, you're good, basically. Now, with this one, you can average around about 27,000 gold per hour, roughly around about at you can do that roughly if you are at rank 2 with your SIREN'S pollen and all of the other different types of herbs which are on Kill Terrace. Now, that being the case, they usually sell within 3 to 5 days of picking them, so you're not waiting around an entire week to 2 weeks in order to sell these types of herbs, as they are current content and they are bought up almost instantaneously, mainly because they're just in a high demand because people want to make flasks, they want to use it for inscription, which I use them for, and that being the case, I find this to be one of the most effective farms for BFA. So that being the case, guys, what did you think of the list? Is there any ones that I actually missed out? Please put them in the comments section down below. Obviously, I named only one Cataclysm Herbalism farm, so basically the Azara's Veil one and the Cinder Bullion one is pretty much all incorporated into the Whiptail one, because you basically get roughly around about the same amount of stuff from those types of farms. Other than that, guys, have a lovely rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be on Wednesday. Take it easy, guys.